came to us as a sophomore. He tried out for our JV basketball team. He was not very good. But you could see they had such passion and such desire to be part of our program. So our JV coach, Jeff Amoroso, approached Jason and said, Jason, we'd like to keep you as team manager, but I want you to practice with the team and be part of the team. And what made JMac unique, because I've had other team managers, was the fact that he so desperately wanted to be in uniform as a varsity player. So when he came out for his senior year, I brought him to the office. I said, Jay, you're not quite there yet, but this year I want to give you a gift. We're going to offer you the team manager's job. But this year, I have a plan. My plan is, on senior night, I want to get you a uniform, and hopefully, although I can't promise you, a chance to get you in the game. So he was delighted. In fact, periodically, he would ask me about how the uniform was coming during the season. And I define periodically as about every other day. So senior night is February 15th. On Monday, February 13th, I give JMac his uniform, number 52. He floats out of the building. February 15th comes, and it's always an emotional night for me. I've been coaching a long time now, but I still get touched because it's the last night for our seniors to play at their home gym. But this night was extra special for me to see Jason McElwain, JMac, give his mother a flower and embrace her in uniform. As the game progressed, we started to get a little bit of a lead, and it was kind of up and down for a little bit. But by the end of the third quarter, I had gotten everybody into the game. And then with just over 4 minutes to go, I stood up and I pointed to him. You can't see on the video of that, but my assistant coach lassos him down as he is about to run onto the court. He's a tad excited. This is where I thought that, wow, this is something unbelievable, because when he got in the game, I look up, and we had this wonderful student body that year. They called themselves the Six Men, and they're all dressed in black and gold. And they, of course, have been chanting since the beginning of the game, "We want JMac," so reminding me. And they put up all these signs of his pictures of his face. And I had no idea. He didn't know. I didn't know. And, I'm always touched on senior night. But now I'm profoundly touched. And here this big macho coach, he'd never sit down. I go over, I sit on the bench, my JV coach comes over, "Are you okay, coach?" I think so. And tears are flowing down my face. He gets the ball the first possession, and you saw it there. He launches a ball, it misses by so much. And I'm sitting on the bench, and I know in the public school you're not supposed to pray. But I'm praying, and I'm praying hard. Come on, God, you got to be a basketball fan just once. Our next possession, he shoots. Seems like it's in the air forever. Please, it rattles home. The place erupts. My prayers have been answered. I'm thinking nothing in my coaching career can ever get any better than this. Then for the next 3 minutes, it wasn't JMac. Michael Jordan appeared on the court. Because he just kept making threes and threes. I'm sitting there in shock. With about a minute to go, I have no idea how many points JMac has. I get a tap on my shoulder. This little woman comes up and gives me a kiss on my soaked cheeks. I look up, it's JMac's mother. "Thanks, Coach. This is unbelievable." I don't know what to say. Now, JMac's got a pretty good deal. What he's got is he runs down the court, he runs off some screens, his teammates throw him the ball, and he shoots. In fact, I kid him to this day, "Jay, we're still looking for your first assist." Now we get down to the last minute. I need a little audience participation on this one. I'm going to set the scene for you. This time, his teammate gets the ball out to him and throws it right to him. And he doesn't dribble too well, so he started to dribble. Would you count down from 10, please? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. At 3. Now he's like 3 feet behind the arc. I go, "Oh no, Jason, don't take that shot." He throws up this rainbow and swish.
I turn and I see our security guard. He's trying to hold our student body. They run right over the top of him. They rush out to J-Mac, and I am just sitting there watching in disbelief as they embrace him. His entire team runs over to him.
And it's bedlam. His mother wiggles through the crowd, and she's hugging him in tears.
Then his teammates put him up on their shoulders, and they're marching him around the gym, and our public address announcer comes on and says, and the leading scorer for the Trojans tonight, J-Mac with 20 points, and the place explodes. So then all of a sudden the student body coaxes him over to where they sit. And for the next 10 minutes, he's signing autographs of the pictures of his face. Okay? So I go down to call the paper. And I don't know in Alabama if you get autistic team managers score 20 points in 4 minutes. But it doesn't happen in Rochester that often. I'm kind of figuring that when I call this in the newspaper, we're going to get a headline here.
So I'm assuming the next day I'm going to wake up, I'm going to read the paper, J-Mac scores 20, big headline, team manager, that doesn't happen very often.
So I wake up the next morning, I'm all excited, I look at the paper, it says, Trojans tied for league title. And I read down about 3 paragraphs, it does mention Jason scores 20 points. So I'm thinking, maybe it's not that big a deal. So I get to school, and I'm going to be frank with you, at school that day I didn't do a whole lot of teaching. We watched that game film, okay? There's not a dry eye in the gym. There's students coming from, I don't think there was any classes going on. Students are coming in.
The buzz around school is, this is going to get on ESPN. I go, it's not going to get on ESPN. It didn't even get a headline in our local newspaper.
So that day, one of the teachers at school called one of our local newscasters, said, I just saw the most amazing 4 minutes of basketball. You have to come and borrow the tape from the coach. And they did.
One of the local sportscasters said, this story impacted me like no other. Would you mind if I sent this out nationally? I said, sure. If we can help impact and give hope to others, that would be wonderful.
Then, all of a sudden, things started to happen. Our last day before our game, we had a typical day at Athena. We were interviewed by Good Morning America, CNN, and ESPN before practice.
On Wednesday, I got home from practice, and my wife was a little bitter.
I said, honey, what's wrong? And she throws like 3 sheets of paper at me. She says, I am not your secretary, and she bolts out of my house. So she weathered that storm. I will say as a sidelight, when Oprah Winfrey's show called, she did pick the phone up. After that game, we got a chance to go into our state tournament. We lost in the state qualifying game, so our season had ended. But it was a great run, and I could talk to you for hours on the aftermath. Okay. Now the interesting thing is, I'm driving to school, and my cell phone rings, and I know I'm not supposed to pick it up, but I did. And it's my wife, and she goes, I just heard you're going to Washington, D.C. to meet the president. I said, we are? How come no one told me? President Bush is coming to Rochester. And it wasn't just to meet J-Mac and myself, but we were on the greeting team. We went to the airport, and I'm thinking, because it's a cold day. It was in March, and it's windy, and I'm thinking we're going to go in a nice warm room. President Bush is going to come in, welcome us, and we're going to talk for a few minutes. No, they had a better idea. We're going to be on the runway in his greeting team. Now, I'm in a shirt and tie, but I'm freezing. So, but you know what? I weathered a storm, because I don't meet the president every day, so I handle it. But I'll never forget this. President Bush comes off Air Force One, and he's walking down, and he starts meeting some local dignitaries, and he comes right up to J-Mac. And he says, J-Mac, it's so wonderful to see you. And he starts praising him up and down. And all of a sudden he stops. And he looks at J-Mac and goes, oh, by the way, do you mind if I call you J-Mac? And he looks, J-Mac looks at President Bush and goes, no, do you mind if I call you George W? President Bush, J-Mac.